Good evening and welcome. You're watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. It's been 3 days since the man considered to be number 3 in the West Bengal government and the Trinamool Congress was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in the teachers' recruitment scam. Partha Chatterjee today even tried to pull the hospital trick citing ill health, but it came to naught. The Enforcement Directorate today told the court that while the scam-accused minister has chronic health issues, he requires no hospitalization. Citing a medical report from AIIMS Bhubaneswar, the ED said that Chatterjee is taking advantage of his position to stay in a state-run hospital. But why would Partha Chatterjee want to stay away from the law? His deeds are now only beginning to unravel. That's why. Sources have told Times Now that foreign trips by Partha Chatterjee's friend Arpita are under the scanner for possible Hawala transactions and being in touch with those who help her launder the money. Also, registry and investment documents have been allegedly found where deals have been done in the name of Arpita. Today, as the probe got deeper into the role of Partha Chatterjee in planning and perpetuating a scam that deprived scores of people in West Bengal their hard-earned jobs and subsequently laundering that money through Hawala transactions, Mamata Banerjee was again under a spotlight. Would Didi, who refused to take calls from her once closest aide, not just stop at distancing herself, but actually manage to sack him? Here's what she said.
আমি কোনো অন্যায়কে সাপোর্ট না করেও ভুল বুঝবেন না, দুর্নীতিকে সাপোর্ট করা তো আমার জীবনের নেশাই নয়, পেশাও নয়। আজকে আমি সত্যিই দুঃখিত এবং মর্মাহত এবং শোকাহত কয়েকটি রাজনৈতিক দলের আচরণে, কিন্তু আমি চাই উইদিন দ্য টাইম ফ্রেম সত্যির বিচার হোক। সত্যিটা যদি কেউ দোষী প্রমাণিত হয় তাকে যাবজ্জীবন কারাদণ্ড দিলেও আই ডোন্ট মাইন্ড।
Now, Mamata Banerjee tried her best to distance herself from Partha Chatterjee. But is it as simple as that? Can he continue to remain a minister and everyone expects that the probe will go on unscathed? Here is what the Enforcement Directorate underlined while they were arguing for the tainted Mantri's custody. They spoke of how he is misusing his power and position. The Enforcement Directorate not only spoke of how sale deals show how the minister has bought properties jointly with Arpita Mukherjee, but also of how multiple efforts have been made to subvert the process of justice. Believe it or not, the ED argued that the minister has remained uncooperative throughout. He even refused to sign the arrest memo. 2 applications were made behind the back of the investigators, and here is the more damaging part. The ED argued that when in SSKM hospital, Partha Chatterjee threatened and abused the investigating officers. In fact, on one occasion, a black car brushed up against the vehicle that was carrying Arpita. The insinuation is clear that there is an effort to not just threaten and intimidate, but even try and cause physical harm. Under the spotlight, under scrutiny again, remains Minister Partha Chatterjee and the person who is allowing his continuance in office, Mamata Banerjee. Can Didi distance herself from Partha Chatterjee and his acts and yet allow him to continue in office?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, we have Gokul Chandran, political analyst, Professor Monojit Mondal, spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, Gargi Nandi Roy, political analyst. My first question is to you, Rakesh Sinha, member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha. Mamata Banerjee today says everyone will have to defend themselves. I've got nothing to do with this. Partha Chatterjee will explain. Arpita Mukherjee will explain. Let the ED investigate. What's the problem?
I think this is the most ridiculous statement by the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee. She is one of the persons who went to steal dharna at the CBI office. She arrested 4 CBI officers in May 2021 when they went to investigate the Narda case. So if that was the case, that stand, how the stand changes? Here, because the 21 crore rupees seized The money, this is money of loot and plunder of the poor people of the West Bengal. Now Chief Minister is distancing. Partha Chatterjee was so close to her. Does she not know that how he was earning the money? How it was coming to her? She is on record. Praised Arpita Ghosh. This means that Trinamool Congress is deeply sunk in the corruption. Entire party, entire government is trying to do what, that's why the wretched condition of West Bengal. The poor people are suffering, and therefore I think that these corruption charges exposes Mamata Banerjee, her party and her government. Her claim of the good governance is now exposed.
Okay, Professor Monojit Mondal, you have Mamata Banerjee not picking up Partha Chatterjee's call. So clearly there is some malfeasance that she also suspects. Then why is he still in the West Bengal Council of Ministers? How can he continue?
No, first of all, I mean, I thought that the person who became a member of parliament through the back door by continuously abusing Mamata for the last 5 years, I've been debating with him since 2017, will change after he became the member of parliament, calling the chief minister ridiculous in a statement without understanding the language and without understanding the spirit. I'm ashamed of the fact that I'm still debating with the same person, though he has become a member of the parliament. Sorry for that. Point number 2, it is amply clear, if you understand Bengali, we have got nothing to, as a party, we have got nothing to do with the money or the individuals who are arrested. If they have done anything on their own capacity, they will defend, they will answer to the court. But you cannot be selective, you cannot have two double standards. When your government in Haryana,
principally, what is the position of the Trinamool Congress? Has Partha Chatterjee done anything wrong? Yes or no?
Father and son are in jail. You have.
Has Partha Chatterjee done anything wrong? Yes or no?
Am I investigating? Neither you are investigating. Okay, so if the investigating agency, let them come up with single document, concrete evidence that he has got some complicity with the money or the quote.
That's a great point you have made. You are not investigating, I am not investigating, but the people who are investigating, here is what they said.
No, let me.
Listen to me, Professor Mondal. The investigators, which is the Enforcement Directorate, here is what they said. And they said it in court, so it's matter of court record. Here is what the Enforcement Directorate said. When Partha Chatterjee was in SSKM, he threatened our officers and abused them. All of this is recorded. We will show it at a correct time. He is using his power. The doctor said our officers have to leave the room so that Partha Chatterjee can make a telephone call. Sir, he is using his power because you are giving him that power. He is in custody of ED and he is telling them that he is threatening and abusing them. And investigators are saying, I'm not saying.
Don't have to be worked up. I'll answer the question. Listen to it. Listen to it. If he has got this, file an FIR against him. You have got the record. File an FIR. This is intimidation. Clear violation of the rule. You are deliberately obstructing the investigation. This is illegal. File an FIR.
But they will file an FIR. Why are you keeping him as a minister? You do realize, Professor Mondal, that any random person cannot threaten the ED. Tomorrow, if some lay person gets picked up by ED, they won't have the guts to try and threaten them. But he is threatening because he has power. He is a minister. And imagine that a central agency officer is telling the court.
Can I understand one
So just a second. The central agency officers are telling the court.
Why are you giving this member of parliament uninterrupted time and you are not giving me even single sentence?
Because sir, my question to you is direct and you are not answering it. Do you think that Partha Chatterjee could threaten ED officers and tell them to leave the room if he ceased to be a minister?
Okay. So, Mr. Nitish Pramanik, 12 cases against him, all were filed by TMC when he was in TMC. He has become the Deputy of Home Minister. You rewarded him because of his cases? John Barla, again another minister from Bengal, for whom Babul Supriyo resigned from the party and came back to ours. He has got again 11 cases, including murder, dacoity, sexual harassment and what not.
But sir, you're changing the goalpost. My question to you is direct. My question to you is, today the Enforcement Directorate is saying that the minister in custody is threatening us. He is telling us to leave the room. He is saying, I want to make a phone call because he is misusing his power. Why are you persisting in giving him that power? He has power because he's a minister.
If he is saying this, you file an FIR. But you have made criminals the ministers, the
Rakesh
Home Ministry.
Sinha. So if the ED feels threatened, file an FIR. Partha Chatterjee won't go from the cabinet. You file an FIR.
You are talking about power and correct.
No,
you misusing of power.
I think it is not even the childish answer. It is not even the childish answer.
This person,
when a person is arrested, 21 crore rupees seized, still the investigation is going on. We don't know how much money is with these people. And the person who claims to be a spokesperson of the ruling party says that let the ED file a FIR. It is politically what your stand on corruption. This is moralizing the corruption. Escapism and moralizing, two things the TMC has. He has not been expelled from the cabinet. For the first time in the history of India, a person is arrested, clear charges of corruption. Money is seized, 21 crore. Can a simple person imagine that he can earn in his life 21 crore? Not even 2 crore a person, people like me earn in my life. And this person is defending. Same Mamata Banerjee went against the CBI. Same Mamata Banerjee, along with some more chief ministers, claimed that ED would not be allowed in their states because it was against the federalism. Now every hollow claim is exposed. They are against CBI, they are against ED, and they abuse CBI and ED. Can they say a single case of CBI and ED where there was a political vendetta?
You interrupt me, I know.
You are interrupting. No, sir. Go ahead. Make a point.
Really
you want to make a point? Go ahead, Professor Mondal. Go ahead.
I don't do this. I don't do this. That's beyond my way of debating.
That's very nice to know, sir. But okay, finish your point, Professor Sinha, and then I'll come back to you, Professor Mondal. Yes.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah, what I believe that wherever there is a charge of corruption, we must go beyond the politics and ideological divide, because this is the corruption which is eating the country, which is finishing the country. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's claim and his action, it is irrespective of ideology and party and the people.
It is about making a statement, and let me remind you, Professor Mondal, that on the 22nd of June 2022, your party took out a statewide rally saying Shubhendu Adhikari should be arrested for corruption. Then again, you've got TMC demanding Prime Minister's resignation over demonetization. You said that this was an exercise in corruption. Then you said that Himanta Biswa Sarma should also be sacked and arrested for the Sharda chit fund scam. So when it comes to any other party, you demand immediate sacking. Why doesn't the same standard apply to your own party and your own leaders? This is your standard.
But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
So they don't do it, you also don't do it.
Himanta Biswa Sarma is still the chief minister, and so is. Look, did I tell you that you will disturb me? I know you, I can understand your psychology. Did I tell you? So Shivraj Singh Chouhan, nothing happens. Haryana, the entire government is corruption with the family of the convict. Convicts, mind you, not accused. Convicts, I repeat, father and son, 2 generations are in jail. You have made government with the 3rd generation, right? Again, come back to Bengal. Shubhendu Adhikari, you showed that televised, TV show.
We did.
Taking bribe. You mean
and you didn't do anything about it. You didn't do anything about it. When he was with your party, Professor Mondal, you didn't do anything about it.
Nothing happens to him.
I'll remind you, by the way, interesting anecdote. When Shubhendu Adhikari was on tape, that time he was with the TMC. That time you didn't do anything. Now that he's in the BJP, you are taking out rallies. Let me remind you, by the way, for the Bhatpada riots, you filed a case against Arjun Singh. Are you still going to prosecute Arjun Singh now that he's back with the TMC, or Bhatpada is over? Bhatpada is memory.
Absolutely, the cases are...
Really? When are you going to call Arjun Singh for questioning in the Bhatpada case?
He was not arrested. He was not... No. He was not arrested. Listen. That's the courtesy. He was not arrested at that point of time. He's not arrested now in both the cases, right? Come back to the biggest of them. PM Care Fund. Who even knows how much money it is going?
I think it's quite clear. This is the point where we completely shift the goalposts and things go off at a tangent. So essentially the argument is, Gargi Nandi Roy, you can go blue in the face talking about Partha Chatterjee, but you have a Shuvendu Adhikari. So why should the TMC act? When you didn't act, why should the TMC act?
Right.
Same.
Okay, Monojit, I didn't disturb you. Kindly, I'll expect the same courtesy from you. I know you have to defend the indefensible today. Padmaja, let me tell you, I think every time TMC people are asked a question, they do what about tree.
Very new on TV.
Please, please, Monojit, I didn't interrupt you. Kindly let me finish. Kindly let me finish. Let me finish. See, in West Bengal, nothing happens without the inspiration of Didi. If you enter Kolkata, huge hoardings of different projects written Didi Rono Pranay. That is, all projects happened with the inspiration of the CM. So the buck doesn't stop at Partha Chatterjee. The buck goes towards Kalighat. Let's be very clear. A few months ago, in a rally, in open rally, Mamata Banerjee was heard saying, "Bhag kore khawa shekho, sob eka khawa hoy na." Means mil baat ke khao, akele mat khao. So you know what was the rule? Partha Chatterjee will keep 75 to 80% will send to Kalighat, and 20-25% will remain with him. Mostly something happened wrong there. Maybe he was not sending. That is why today Didi is also silent. Didi has distanced. See, the same Didi who went and sat for dharna for Rajiv Kumar, the police commissioner, is distancing because Bhaipo, Abhishek wants Partha to be replaced by Babul. So some problem in share of booty happened. Maybe Partha Chatterjee was not sending. That's why this information went to ED about Orpita. And Orpita, they are disowning on 21st July meeting. Orpita was sitting on the same stage on the second row next to Shobham Dev. What are they saying? You know, Padmaja, this scam has affected all of us, because I am a daughter of Bengal. Yeah, I am a daughter of Bengal. Monojit, give me 10 seconds, Padmaja. I am a daughter of Bengal.
No, this is a serious charge. This goes right up till writer's building. This goes right up till the CM's office. Professor Mondal, that is why the sheltering of Partha Chatterjee.
It goes up to Novanno.
Stop your friend first. I can't speak over her. That's beyond my courtesy. Look at, I think this is newly appearing,
Okay, go on, Professor Mondal, go on. It goes right till the top. That is why the protection. Professor Mondal.
Why are you so uncourteous, madam? Why are you so uncourteous? Why are you uncourteous? Yes. Who says Mehul Bhai? Who embraces Mehul Bhai, accused of 10,000 crores of corruption? Does the buck stop with Mr. Modi? Who was seen with Bijoy Mallya, 8,000 crores ghapla? Does the buck stop with Mr. Modi? Who was seen with, look at her. Madam, be courteous. I think you are holding a very important position in the central government. Must be very courteous, right? You are holding a very important position, I know.
Okay, Professor Mondal, please come to the point. The question being asked of you is this sheltering because the proceeds are going to everyone?
A party of goons, but don't heckle me on a TV show, please.
BJP is well in this country. I don't. You don't know the meaning of heckling.
Mallya thing happened, whatever. Even listen.
Okay, let me bring in Gokul Chandran. Gokul Chandran again attempting to bring the debate back to the more specific issues. Today you've got an investigation that is underway. The investigators are saying we are not only being obstructed, we are being actively threatened. And again, I underline, they are saying that one time we were going in a car with Arpita and a black car brushed up against us, almost insinuating that we are being physically harmed. Can then an impartial investigation take place when the accused is in a position of power, is seemingly being protected and still enjoys the trust of the powers that be?
Good evening, Padmaja. Prima facie, though we know that Mr. Partha Chatterjee is on the dock, but then the other side, what we have to see is who has put him on the dock. It is the Enforcement Directorate. Knowing the past history of Enforcement Director, we tend to give a benefit of doubt to Mr. Partha. If a innocent lady like Mrs. Sonia Gandhi can be called to ED office and questioned for 2-3 hours,
right now,
then
if despite that you want to give benefit of doubt, then what will it take for you to doubt?
That's what I'm telling. No. Yeah, Padmaja, I'm talking about the incidents which you quoted, the black car which brushed, the Partha threatening them, and those things. So the ED's credibility is the most questionable factor here.
So you do know that these things have been said in court.
Fearless ED.
So the ED, if it has said all these things in court, it is a matter of record now. Are you suggesting the ED is lying in court?
Padmaja, the ED is not Saint ED that they will not lie. They have lied many times.
Sir, you cannot lie in court. You cannot lie in court.
So you cannot say whatever ED is.
Okay, Rakesh Sinha.
ED can.
You cannot try. Okay, ED can lie in court. Rakesh Sinha.
ED says.
You know that there's something called perjury, sir. ED can lie in court. Rakesh Sinha.
Padmaja, I am reminding these people this is the same Indian democracy when none other than the son-in-law of Jawaharlal Nehru, Shivraj Gandhi, raised the question of corruption and the minister had to resign. So we have a legacy. Even if it was a Congress of Nehru, we have legacy that fighting against the corruption. We are one when there is a charges of corruption. But I am surprised how the time has changed. There are people who, at the cost of their own image, and how posterity will evaluate all of us, that we are coming on TV channel and defending ED who is 21 crore in the home of a lady, and you are saying innocent. And you are saying Sonia Gandhi innocent. It is not the ED. It is the court which has ordered. It is under the court ED is investigating. There is a charge of thousands of crore of National Herald. That property didn't belong to the BJP or RSS or any particular state. It belonged to the Congress party. And that property was daylight loot and plunder by Sonia and Rahul Gandhi. This is allegation. That's why they are going to ED. How BJP has to do it in this? How ED has to do it there? Do you consider that if a minister, member of parliament or a chief minister tomorrow arrested, he should have immunity from the ED's investigation, CBI's investigation? There cannot be two sets of law, one for the common people, common businessmen, and bureaucrats, other for the politicians. There is a rule of law, and a rule of law is not only applicable in the violence in the street, also applicable in the corruption.
Okay, and on that note,
I think that our Prime Minister has declared war against the corruption, and there is no immunity for any individual in this country who is involved in the corruption.
And on that note, let us also remind you that this investigation is also taking place with the Calcutta High Court simultaneously overseeing the entire operation. So to say that this is an act of vendetta and the ED is lying, these are cases that they will have to answer for in court. These are statements made in court, and if indeed this level of harassment and intimidation is taking place during an active investigation, one needs to ask questions of who's protecting the accused. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Gargi Nandi Roy for joining.